22 airstrikes. Look at how that compares to the Mosul Dam, for instance, a key piece of infrastructure in Iraq, a long campaign to take that back from ISIS. Or Erbil, the capital of Kurdistan, the Kurdish Peshmerga, our key allies on the ground there. Or even Baghdad, the capital of Iraq, just 27 strikes compared to 122, almost 5 times as many around Kobani. And Jake, just in the last week, there have been 85 strikes in Kobani, just 1 in Baghdad, and that's appearing to make a difference.
Explosions and gunfire, followed by sirens. These are the sounds of Kobani fighting desperately to repel ISIS's advance. U.S. and coalition aircraft have unleashed a storm of air power, striking ISIS targets a total of 122 times since the start of the campaign, more than any other location in Syria or Iraq. And the assault appears to be working. ISIS fighters now retreating from certain parts of the city.
ISIL's advances appear to have slowed, and we know that we have inflicted damage.
Defending Kobani, however, is not, administration officials have repeated, essential to defeating ISIS, raising hard questions about where and how the campaign is making strategic progress.
What are the strategic targets, then, in Iraq and Syria? And why isn't the U.S.-led coalition striking them more? If Kobani, particularly as you're focusing so much air power now on what has been repeatedly described as not essential to victory.
It matters to us for 2 reasons, and I said this before. One, because it matters to them, and they want it.
It's not just about why Kobani. It's why not more elsewhere, where, particularly if it's Iraq first, and there are strategic targets. Why all the air power there? And because it gets to, are you running out of targets?
Your question gets at what we would consider, what we call strategic patience. That's what needs to happen here. But I can assure you that Kobani's not the end here. There will be more strikes in more places against more targets.
Elsewhere in Syria and Iraq, however, defense officials say ISIS is changing how it fights, travels, and communicates, making it harder to strike them from the air.
They're dispersing more. They're hiding more inside the population. They're making it harder for us to find them. They're also changing their communications.
And ISIS may now be opening another front in the war inside Baghdad. The militants are taking responsibility for attacks occurring almost daily in the capital. Car bombs and suicide explosions. A shadow campaign to destabilize the most crucial piece of territory of the war.
The Pentagon says there is actually a good side to the fact that ISIS is changing its tactics, the way it moves, the way it communicates, etc., because the Pentagon says that means they're not able to exercise power and fight the battles that they've been carrying out as well under the pressure of the U.S. air campaign. But Jake, in that other key measure, gaining territory back from ISIS, so far at this point, the coalition has not gained ground.
So far, it still looks like it's going to be a long slog. Jim Sciutto, thank you.